structure, it seems like we also rely on that to provide certain social structures around how something would be. We don't often claim the responsibility. How do you see, let's say, if drugs were legalized, how would we self-manage in a responsible way to make that occur?
Well, I maintain that since alcohol and tobacco are legal, we have already proven that we can absorb the social consequences of legalizing any drug. I mean, if you can tolerate the costs and what alcohol and all that does to insurance, then heroin is going to pose no problem. The problem with the law is that when the law becomes irrational, the law loses its moral force. And so it has to be reformed. And this is, I believe, very difficult in this drug area because nobody's being straight about what's at issue. The real issue, like let's take cannabis, which is, most people, whether they smoke cannabis or not, have the impression, I think, that this is a generally benign and over-discussed peril. And yet, I cannot imagine America legalizing cannabis simply because its psychological consequences are that it erodes loyalty to the work ethic. If people are not interested in screwing widgets on Wonkles if they've smoked, and contrast it to caffeine. Now, caffeine is a dangerous drug, does liver damage, is known to be implicated in a number of pathologies. And yet, every labor contract signed in the Western world enshrines the right of laborers twice a day to stop the assembly line and tank up on coffee. This is an extraordinary folkway. And why? Because caffeine is a made-to-order drug for the purposes of slave capitalism. I mean, you just scurry right back to your keyboard or your assembly line, and you can do the 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. shift then without, falling on your face like a normal primate would if they weren't jacked up on some alkaloid.